Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of Wi-Fi Battles. Yeah, that didn't sound right, but whatever. So this is another LBA battle. Today we're battling Squirtacular, aka Josh, and going through his team, I made some interesting decisions. I looked at his team and I thought that a defensive Poison Heal Breloom would probably be the best. I went with a physically defensive, however offensive Arcanine, specifically with Darmanitan in mind. I figured I needed some way to beat Darmanitan, so with Intimidate, max HP, max defense, I was able to be 3-hit KO'd by Earthquake and or Rock Slide, and be able to finish him off with only 4 attack, a Life Orb, Close Combat, and Extreme Speed. So that's what I went for with Arcanine. I brought Mega Sableye because I saw he had a lot of potential status going around. I didn't see any. Well, I did see Stealth Rock, so I kind of figured that okay, maybe Crocodile would be setting Stealth Rock, so Magic Bounce would be pretty useful. I also brought Heliolisk because he had a few things that I wanted to hit with Heliolisk. Brought Mantine again, mainly because I couldn't really think of any way to beat Seismitoad, and Mantine was basically my best bet for that. And I brought Ditto because honestly, Ditto was a terrible choice to bring. There was no reason to bring Ditto. Mainly, I think it was backup for Darmanitan, but I needed to bring Donphan, and you'll see why as we go through the battle, but definitely bringing Ditto was probably a bad position. So I led off with Breloom because I figured there wasn't really much he could lead off against me with that would kind of threaten me out. And he starts off with Crocodile, so now I'm figuring, okay, so my best bet is I'm just going to protect, get my Poison Heal, see what this guy wants to do. And we see that he goes for Knockoff. So I was figuring, okay, maybe he was predicting a switch out. He's probably going to go for it again. So I decided to stay in and go for Spore. However, unfortunately, he pretty much predicted that and taunted me. So I didn't really have much there to do. So I knew he could switch out to Zapdos, and I kind of figured he would, but I decided to get a Drain Punch off anyway. Just in case, he didn't switch out the first turn, even though an offensive Breloom, it didn't have Intimidate, so I didn't think it was going to be bulky. So I figured that, maybe because of the way he stayed in, he was pretty confident in it, and he probably would have stayed in again. So yeah. I bring in Ditto here to basically absorb the Volt Switch from the Zapdos, but unfortunately, this is why I needed to bring Donphan. This Zapdos was an offensive Zapdos, and while I can beat a defensive Zapdos, I can't beat an offensive one, and that's going to be an issue. So he brings out Seismitoad, and I remember from last battle that I gave Ditto HP Grass. So I was like, alright, I'm going to go for HP Grass. Now, I figured it would KO here, and even if it didn't, I wasn't really sure how Seismitoad would really do against me. I'm a Zapdos. I don't expect Seismitoad to really be able to KO me from this range. What I didn't know was that it got Stealth Rocks. So that was unfortunate. Now, I didn't bring my spinners, so I have Stealth Rocks up, and that's going to be a little unfortunate. So I was considering bringing in Arcanine here, but I figured that he might predict that and go for Earthquake, but he actually went for Rock Slide instead, and unfortunately that does take me out. So Mantine didn't even get to see the light of the day, and I'm already like all flustered because he's outplaying me at every turn, and it's frustrating. So I bring in Arcanine here, and I know that even with the Stealth Rocks damage, I can still beat this Darmanitan. So I decided to go for Close Combat, not really predicting anything. He brought out Seismitoad basically as fodder, just to see what I would do. And he sees that I go for Close Combat, which is unfortunate because now he can kind of know my plan. And without Arcanine being able to switch in and out many times, it's going to be hard to beat this Darmanitan. So in comes Zapdos, and, I don't really know what to do against this thing. Honestly, I would have brought an Assault Vest Donphan if I was this worried about Zapdos. As you can see, it's just doing so much damage to me, and I just don't know what to do. I don't have any adequate counters for it right now. I honestly figured that if I brought in Ditto, I'd be able to take a Volt Switch, and then I could just Volt Switch out. But it just didn't work that way, and that's really unfortunate for me. But, you know, Donphan comes out. I decide to Mega Evolve so I can get my HP back. I wanted to get my HP back, so I basically had to Mega Evolve here. He's going to go for Flare Blitz, and I figured I'd survive this, but unfortunately I don't. And the reason why I thought I might survive this is I'm max HP, max defense for this battle. And so I'm just kind of in a bad spot. I'm in a really bad spot. I just... I think I planned well for his team, but the thing is I didn't plan well for the Zapdos. And the Zapdos is what basically broke this team apart, because now I got nothing. So I knew he was going to switch into the Crocodile, but I had to go for Rock Slide, because if he didn't, Donphan's a bigger threat to my team than Crocodile is. I still have Breloom for Crocodile. Crocodile can't really touch Breloom, so I'm not too worried about it. He goes for Earthquake, and like I said, you know, Breloom can very easily wall this Crocodile. I really am not confident. I'm not worried about it at all, so that's why I went for Rock Slide. I was way more concerned about getting rid of that Donphan. So I was predicting him to go for Taunt here, but I kind of thought maybe he won't, so on the hope that he wasn't, I went for Spore, and of course he is Lumberry. So that must be why he went for Knockoff the first turn, because he was confident that if I did go in fact for Spore, it wouldn't matter and he could knock off my Focus Sash. But unfortunately, that worked out pretty poorly for me, and I switched out to Heliolisk here. I was predicting him to switch out, in all honesty, not even go for knockoff. I really thought he would switch out here, because Drain Punch, I have it. He's clearly not a very bulky Crocodile, and that just isn't what he did. I don't know where my head was when we were playing this match. Really don't know. And again, you know, I'm thinking he's gonna switch out. I know he keeps taunting me every time Breloom's in. So he's gonna switch out. I'm gonna go for Spore, and again, he taunts me. But I stay in this time. I do go for Drain Punch, and you'll see that it really does do a lot of damage. You know, so I wasn't wrong to believe that he would switch out. He just predicted me to do that, and that's unfortunate. So I got outplayed there, and I'll say that even with the Donphan, you know, still things would have gone wrong, and maybe I still would have lost, but it would have been a better battle than this. This is so bad. So he goes for a Hidden Power, and I'm like, okay, I'm max HP, max special defense. I can take this. Can I take it? No. Oh my god, I couldn't take that. So I just didn't understand what was going on. I know the Donphan I would have brought would have been able to take that, and with Ice Shard done decent damage, I could have brought Rock Slide. So I don't know what's going on here. Just not my battle here. So I go for Protect, because I'm trying to get some HP back. I want to get as much as I can, so I can, you know, maybe survive another HP Ice. My Taunt's off, so maybe I can Spore him. I knew he had Heat Wave. I figured he might not go for it, but he does go for it. So all in all, honestly, I really played so poorly. It wasn't even funny. Ditto was a horrible choice. It made sense when you look at it from my perspective, because I was bringing it because it doesn't. While it doesn't resist Zapdos, it can probably, a defensive Zapdos can take the Volt Switch. So that's what I was hoping for. But unfortunately, because he was offensive, I lost out on that, and that just kind of ruined me. And that's just really unfortunate for me. So I bring in Arcanine here. I know I really don't have much of a chance against him. I only have Arcanine and Ditto left, so obviously, you know, that's going to be the worst of the problem. So he actually stays in here, and I'm thinking, you know, I might not have a lot of attack, but I can probably almost take it out with Wild Charge. So that's what I do, and I go for Wild Charge, and it was close, but not really close enough. And here's where the problem happened. What I was hoping for. was him to carry Aurasphere. I don't know why he would. Maybe, you know, for Heliolisk. Yeah, probably for Heliolisk. So what I can do here is I'm Scarfed, a Scarfed Mega Blastoise. I could probably take out the rest of his team with an Aurasphere, but I transform and unfortunately, no Aurasphere. So I lock myself into Scald. Now that may seem like a really bizarre choice, but there's a reason behind that. He did have Dark Pulse, but as we all know, as you can see from the team preview that happened at the beginning of this video, he had Umbreon. And honestly, my only way to beat that Umbreon was to go for Scald. Because he didn't have Aurasphere. So basically what he had left was Darmanitan, Umbreon, and Blastoise. If he had Aurasphere, I think I could have maybe possibly come out on top there. It depends on if the Darmanitan was Scarfed. And I know it wasn't because it had Will-O-Wisp and something else on it that wasn't an attack. So I'm pretty sure it wasn't Scarfed. And it wasn't like an attack that would kind of make sense on Scarf. Like Will-O-Wisp, I can understand being on Scarf sometimes, especially in this like hyper counter ring format. But it was like, I think it was like Protect or something. I could look it up, but I don't really remember where I put the notepad. But yeah, so I knew it wasn't Scarf, so I figured I had a chance, but he unfortunately did not have Aurasphere. So it was a pretty bad battle in my opinion. Josh outplayed me pretty much at every point, especially Breloom versus Crocodile. That just really irked me because it's just like, I know this Drain Punch will take him out. You know, he knows the Drain Punch will take him out, and I know every time I'm in he goes for a taunt. So why would I go for Spore? Oh, you have to be an idiot to go for Spore. And that's what I was thinking. I was thinking, he's not going to think I'm going to go for Spore. So I go for Spore. And of course, that's wrong. That's what he goes for. And oh, man. Oh, man, was I annoyed. Not at him, just was like, oh, come on. How could I not see that coming? But all in all, I do agree with him. I probably should have brought Technician Breloom instead. It definitely would have done a lot more to his team. I should have brought Don, and this is my personal opinion, I should have brought Donphan over Ditto. I really should have, because not only, you know, starting off with Breloom seemed like a pretty weird idea, now that I think of it. Probably starting off with Sableye would have been the best, and I could have just, you know, Magic Bounced away the Stealth Rocks. Yeah, so I don't know, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope to see you guys at the next episode. Peace.